I've had the opportunity to experience a variety of things in my life, and one of them that began to dawn on me in my earlier years came from, I have no idea the person who brought it forward, but it was question authority. Any of you recall that? Is it still applicable today, or is that time passed? Okay. Well, I've had also the opportunity to revisit some of the things that were brought to my attention to question the authority about. One of them was the fact that I am still alive and here with you right now because life made it possible for me not to have to engage in living the Vietnam War as a combat soldier. And only recently I read an article in the National Geographic where the United States government still has not owned up to the millions of tons of bombs that were dropped on Laos that are still alive there. And the millions upon millions of dollars that were spent on that, and the small amount that they have put forward to that country to try to assuage the damage done. So question authority. And that you begin to look at it and see, wow, others put themselves in a position of authority, and we, in essence, say, all right, you have the authority to do that, to say that, then therefore we must follow. Now, look at this for a moment, and please be willing to allow yourself to engage in this, because the only way that we can allow someone else to be our authority is because we don't really have the authority in ourselves to recognize and to embrace. How can that be? It can be because we don't pay attention to what's going on with our own minds. You see, our experiences of life are based upon our perceptions of life. And those perceptions are formed by our patterns of belief. And our patterns of belief are all there because of the thoughts that we think and the ones that we pay attention to and give energy to. It's really simple. But most people don't even question their mind. If a thought comes to them, they automatically jump into a mode of acceptance because the thought came to them. So if we're going to question any authority, let's question the authority of our mind. Now, if you think that your mind is without any shortcomings, always speaks the truth, then you are definitely lost. And you'll probably go to hell. No, as a matter of fact, the probability is removed. You are in hell. You're in the hell of believing that your mind is true and always true. You see, you're believing everything it says. But you don't have to believe everything that little voice in your head tells you. You can come to a place of opening up and becoming more aware of the thoughts that actually enter into your head. You see, most people have become programmed by patterns of belief that are pretty much formed in fear, anxiety, worry, concern. So those all have a very similar energy foundation for them. Well, if that's what you're trusting so far as living your life, remember, you're going to support those thoughts by the feelings you generate that are going to be a match for those thoughts. And most people don't realize that they are creating their own lives. Most people, under that kind of an awareness, believe that things happen to them and that they are victim of circumstance. When the fact of the matter is, that's only the way that they are choosing to create their life. You see, you can create in another way the life that you live. And that is, you can take the thoughts that you want to embrace, that you want to magnify, such as love, peace, hope, joy, and have those be the one that you then tell your mind is what you want to have be brought forward. Now, this is new for some of you. For some of you, you've been engaged in it, and you know that as you practice it, it does prove itself out. Because you see, people who are believing that this is a hostile world are hostile oriented. Those who are opening themselves and choosing to live a loving energy, guess what? That's what they experience. The law of attraction always works, no matter what it is that you generate. So instead of being a slave to your mind and finding that your mind uses you because you have not waked up to the point of realizing it's a tool. If you allow it to use you, you become the tool. In reality, you don't have to go there. You don't have to do that. Now, for some, this is just, I'm almost speaking as if God were the devil. I'm speaking blasphemy. And that's because they have become so brainwashed into believing that what thoughts pop up into their head are accurate. They're right, and there's just no way around that. Haven't you heard? Well, I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden, the thought came to me, and I acted on it because it came to me. They can claim insanity afterwards. And, there's a little legitimacy there in that they were insane to listen to the thought and then act out the thought to begin with. But when they say it is of a higher authority, and they are in essence saying that their mind is the authority, they are missing the point of what they are choosing to live. Now, if you haven't taken the time to question your thought patterns or behaviors, then you might want to start paying attention so that you can. You see, this is about paying attention to what enters upon that screen that you view first. And that's always being filled with certain things. Open yourself up. You see, the mind operates in a very unusual but predictable way in that it says it's thinking logically. Like everybody knows that your thoughts and your thinking processes are logical. Just pay attention to the way your mind presents them. Behind everything that happens, your mind wants an explanation. But it works upon a premise of it's right or it's wrong. It's yes or it's no. It's black or it's white. That's it. Everybody knows that. Well, that's the way the world works, right? It's black or it's white. It's either right or it's wrong. And so that yes or no. You begin to look at this and you say, wow, how much am I letting actually fall through the cracks where the light is shining, and I am just choosing to be blind to it. You start waking up and you start realizing that there is a lot missed when you follow this type of mind, because in that you can see the mind is using you instead of you seeing it as an instrument, a tool that you can use. But it requires of you to actually pick and choose what you're going to then focus upon, what you're going to then embrace and choose to live. Because with every thought that you allow to come to you and that you actually endorse by paying attention to it, you're generating some corresponding feeling. So again, I would say to you, start paying attention to your feelings and consider them as a valid point of reference instead of only your thoughts. Now, while your feelings may be something that you're not quite as at ease with, part of that's because you haven't really been giving your feelings any credit. And men, in our society at least, we are taught not to pay attention to our feelings. If we are feelings, then there's something that is close to being wrong with us. We have to be logical. We have to think. When the fact is, our feelings are that manifests in us that's the closest to our true capacity of discernment. You see, when you start paying attention to how you feel and how your body responds to what's going on, you're going to get a much more accurate indication as to who you are in the situation instead of only paying attention to what you think about it. We are engaged in a great wake-up. And part of the wake-up is exactly what I'm bringing to your attention today. Stop treating your mind as if it were the ultimate authority in your life. Open up and realize that you are only working with half of your capacity to draw upon, and that is heavily influenced by your behavioral patterns. Begin to make a shift over and start paying attention to how you feel. And then open up to, all right, do I want to experience love in my life? Do I want to experience happiness? Do I want to experience fulfillment? Do I actually want to be able to get along with other people and have other people get along with me? Then you might want to try this out instead of being a deadhead and thinking that the way you thought about it is the only way you can go about it. This wake-up that's happening with all of us is causing us to have many turnovers of things that we thought to be true and opening up to the realization that in most instances, the very best is they had truth that was misused and abused to come to a conclusion that is not really in our best interest. So, then you come to look at it and see, well, why is it then that I have this awareness about myself that when I open up and start developing this deeper approach, that it seems like this deeper meaning that I'm seeing always finds me as to be at fault. If things don't go right in my life, it's because I screwed up. Instead of realizing that not everything is going to go right in your life, and it doesn't mean that you're a screw-up. Because you see, if you screwed up, then you are a screw-up. That's the logic, instead of realizing that you really are a being that has multiple capacities, and that you're just simply defaulting to a belief about yourself that is not an accurate assessment of who you truly are. Another type of person can also take that and begin to turn it to a positive. And instead of seeing things going wrong because something is wrong, they open themselves to the realization, hey, wait a minute. A mistake is merely an opportunity to get it better. And mistakes are important and vital because they give me the opportunity to learn without saying, I don't want to be bothered with that. If I can't do it perfectly the first time, then just leave it alone. You begin to realize, hey, that's part of what we're here for, is to learn and to grow. And we begin to see mistakes as opportunities because, again, moving away from the mind using you to you using the mind, you start taking it to yourself, a deeper connection. When you're operating under the mind using you, you're operating under a sense of separateness. It's me against them all the time. Unless you associate with people who are of a like awareness, that you say then, they're my friends. When in fact, they're just of a like awareness, friend or not. You begin to open up and realize, wait a minute here. I breathe the same air as everybody. I have DNA in my system just like everybody else does. I have skin on my body just like everyone else does. But they're not all the same color. We haven't been all raised the same way. But we are the same species. And we are connected in this earth. And this earth is a sphere that embraces everyone, excepting no one. We begin to open up to a deeper realization that everything is connected. You could even go to the point of realizing a mistake is simply an opportunity to get it better, because everything already is working together for good. And in reality, all is well. There's nothing really wrong. But if I believe there's something wrong, then I'm going to generate that energy, and by God, that's what I'm going to live over and over and over again. I know, this isn't fun. I see the beads of sweat breaking out on your forehead. I know you're just itching and squirming, but you can't do it right now, because if you did, somebody behind you would see it. The only way out of that is if you all sat on the back row. I'm saying this to you to encourage you, because every failure is an opportunity, and every circumstance is a blessing in disguise. If you can open up yourself to that, then you can see that we choose to see things, and if we choose to see things as what I just said, then life becomes an exciting adventure. You begin to open up and allow yourself to be in the adventure without feeling that you have to know everything before it happens. And as a matter of fact, you could even, I know this is really threatening, but you could even come to the place of saying, I don't know. It's really a mystery to me. And if you can come to that, then you can feel a great sense of relief start to spread throughout your entire being, because you no longer are wearing that enormous amount of armoring to protect yourself from anything and everything that you know is going to come to you because your mind told you so. Have fun. For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.